Hi, in this video, I want to share 3 important but very easy ways which you can use to help you quickly determine which particular crystal in your collection you can use at any given moment for any healing purpose. The first way you can easily determine which crystal to use is going by the color of the stone. For example, if you're going through something that needs an activation, a quick activation, use the red colored stones. And of course, red colored stones remind you of the blood. So, just going by the color of the stone and by the imagery that comes into your awareness, you can pick the stone. If you're using a green stone, remember that green stones work on the physical detoxification and the physical processes in the body. So use a green stone depending on how you're feeling in your life. If something's going on in your life, and you need to start something, you need to initiate something, work with the yellow stones. If you need to calm any situation down in your life, work with the blue stones. If you're working with anything that needs an evolution or a quick transmutation of energy, you can work with the purple stones or the violet stones like amethyst and mystic merlinite. So based on the color of the stone, you can quickly determine which crystal to use at any given moment. Those are just a few examples. The second way to easily determine what particular crystal to use for any given situation is to go by the softness and the hardness of the stone. This is very important because this quickly determines how quickly you will experience the therapeutic effects of the stone. If the stone is soft, it will be easier and faster for you to experience its therapeutic effects. If the stone is hard, it might take a long time because of the hardness and the rigidity of the situation. So based on your own personal situation, if you need something to quickly dissolve, it's easier or better to work with soft crystals like calcite and gypsum crystals. If the situation is one that needs some kind of permanence, something that's very, very strong, that needs some kind of rigid stability behind it, then you can work with crystals like quartz or diamond. So in a way, it's very important for us to really go and do our research and look into the Mohs hardness scale of gemstones to determine, is my crystal soft or is it hard, and is it really helping me? Because sometimes we work with hard crystals like quartz, and then our situations solidify and become more permanent. So we have to know these things so we can gauge whether the hard crystals are working for us or whether the soft crystals are working for us. And finally, the third way to help you determine which crystal to use at any given moment for your healing process is to know how the crystals were formed. Is that crystal a volcanic crystal like obsidian? Because volcanic crystals come from the earth with such heat, they come out from under the surface and they cool quickly. So depending on your situation, if you need a heated situation to cool down quickly in your life, you might consider working with a volcanic crystal like obsidian. Another thing to consider is crystals that are formed through the process of erosion, wind and water erosion. These are processes that take a long time. They're kind of slow, but they get there. So depending on your personal evaluation of your situation, you might consider working with water-based or erosion-based stones, because these crystals that are formed through the process of erosion, they're usually banded agates. They usually have layers and layers of information, especially emotional information, to deal with. So depending on your life, you can look at a crystal and think, I might not need the crystal that was formed through the volcanic process, but I may need one that was formed through the process of erosion, like an agate, because I have layers and layers of things that I need to personally work with or resolve in my life, especially with the emotions. So you might also think about that. And then you might also consider working with meteorites, crystals that come from outer space, depending on what's going on in your life. If you want quick, raise your vibration really quickly, or you want to resolve something very quickly, and the information you need it from up there through your crown chakra coming into your being really quick, you might consider working with a meteorite. So those are some of the easy ways that you can quickly determine what crystal to work with in your daily life. Of course, you have to listen to your intuition, but just in case, you need extra, this is it. Crystals by color, crystals by the way they are formed, and also crystals by how hard or soft they are. Okay, let me know if this is useful for you. Leave your comment. Let me know how you're working with crystals or even determining how to work with crystals on a daily basis. I love you guys and see you next time. Bye.